Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today I can think of no better way to usher in the weekend than to kick it old school with some 1v1 Black Forest as GL.DauT playing as the Sicilians in blue gets ready to duke it out with FreakinAndy playing as the Bohemians in orange. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, try to block off the middle and get their butts up to Feudal, probably Castle Age ASAP. And look at that, Andy already doing it. Not a bad time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. Now, the Sicilians already moving forward are a civilization whose strength, in my opinion, derives from their static defensive structures. If you take a look at the top left of your screen where my mouse is very cool, like circling, you'll notice that the Sicilians start every single game with 100 extra stone, which is fantastic because they build town centers twice as fast as normal, fortifications 50% faster than normal, and starting in the Feudal Age can build their unique structure, the donjon. Think of this as a mini castle that gains HP and armor as the game progresses, and like its sister structure, the Bulgarian Krepost can also be used to train their unique unit. In this particular case, referring to the Sergeant, a medium infantry unit with great base armor whose HP actually increases in the Castle Age and is one of the only two unique units that can actually be trained in the Feudal Age. By the way, you can also use those very sergeants to build and repair the very donjons that give them life. Now, unlike the Bulgarian Krepost, a donjon can also be used to train spearman line units and can actually count as a prerequisite in order to build a stable or an archery range. Now, if you find yourself in dire need of a lot of military ASAP, well, the Sicilians can call a First Crusade, where each and every one of these town centers spawns 5 sergeants in the, let's say, almost blink of an eye, up to a maximum of 5 town centers, so a maximum of 25 sergeants appear on your screen. Now, to help protect the sergeant, which is very heavily armored and therefore moves very slowly on the field of battle, well, Sicilian knights and cavaliers can be upgraded to get extra armor. All Sicilian infantry, cavalry, and archer units take less bonus damage than normal, and all of their units can be upgraded to become more resistant to conversion. Now, to feed a big, hungry militaristic population, the Sicilians do have the most bountiful farms in the game, fully upgraded in the Imperial Age, gilded to the hilt, or to the guild, or guild to the nines, or whatever the hell the expression is. A fully upgraded Sicilian farm, over 1,000 food. Now let's take a look at the right side of the screen where we've got FreakinAndy playing as the Bohemians, a civilization that pushes its players towards gunpowder units by making the chemistry upgrade and hand cannoneers available in the Castle Age, and having access to an upgrade that actually increases the speed of all of their gunpowder units. Where, oh where are you going, Mr. Villager, and where, oh where will you place the dock? Now busy attacking the wildlife. Probably wish you were a Magyar villager that you can one-strike that wolf. In any event, the Bohemians not exactly a one-trick hand cannoneer pony. Speaking of gunpowder, they have not one but 2 unique gunpowder units at their disposal, which we'll get into in a second, because GL.DauT is pulling 3 boars already from the northern quadrant of his settlement area. And I'm trying to look at the mini-map. I don't think I see any boars at all for Andy on his side of the map. There's a few dots here, and this is closed off. Ooh, okay, so a little bit of unfairness already built into this map as these boars take a little bit of arrow fire. Let's see how well GL.DauT pulls them. 1, 2, and a third one. All of them underneath the TC, beautifully pulled by the castle master himself. Well, there you go. So Andy already a little bit SOL here, shit out of luck, if you're not familiar with what that expression is. Not having access to any of basically over 1,000 food for free, although he is already getting his fishing industry up and running, a second fishing ship. Now, as I was saying, the Bohemians not 1 but 2 unique gunpowder units. The first, the Hussite wagon, incredibly powerful siege unit that's referred to as the mobile wall. Now, why is it called that? Because it can actually protect units behind it from enemy projectiles by splitting the damage of those projectiles in half. The second is the Haufnitze, or the Howitzer, an upgraded version of the bombard cannon with more HP, more armor, higher damage, wider blast radius. I'm trying to get all this in one breath, and a massive, massive attack bonus against buildings. Although, before you get too antsy in the pantsy about the Haufnitze in a 1v1, it does cost more than going up to Imperial to upgrade your bombard cannons to Haufnitzes. Now, to provide backup for their incredibly expensive gunpowder units, the Bohemians do have a few interesting bonuses. Their spearman line units deal 25% more bonus damage, although remember, against the Sicilians, that bonus damage is basically reduced by a third. Or you can completely evolve your monk line by researching an upgrade that replaces all the gold costs of not only monks, but also monk technologies with food, essentially turning Bohemian monks into very well-fed trash units. Now, as every player knows, gunpowder units are pretty darn expensive, so to help you pay for them, universities and blacksmiths do cost 100 less wood. Their mining camp upgrades are both free of charge. Their markets work 80% faster, and their villagers can be harder to raid because they do benefit from two very important monk upgrades that make them move faster and have more HP. I am, of course, referring to Fervor and Sanctity. DauT hitting Feudal Age first, immediately making use of that ability of the Sicilians to put up a donjon, and Andy here housed at 30, although is a minute and 23 seconds away from going up to Imperial. He went off the back of 4 extra villagers, 4 fishing ships, and so he is desperately trying to make up for the fact that his boars are basically over here, stuck on this part of the map. Now, let me remove the Fog of War. As you can see on Black Forest, the players start knowing the entirety of the map. Now, they may not know necessarily where their opponent is in terms of where the exact town center is, unless, of course, they're the Vietnamese. Then they know exactly where their opponent's starting position is. But you do start the game seeing the map and seeing the outline of the forest, seeing where the resources are, seeing where the boars and the lakes and all the waterfalls that you're not supposed to chase are located. And usually in a 1v1, there is one avenue of attack between the bases, and now Andy is in Feudal, so I'm expecting some stone walls to go up from him as well. A second donjon by DauT, who's got 2 villagers on stone back home. Now, what's important in Rage Forest? Not as much, to be fair, the location of your starting resources, which for DauT are very much in the forward position, whereas Andy has his a bit more strewn about. One to the north, one to the east, one to the south. More important, in my opinion, is, are there any weak areas in the forests that can easily be cut through during a later stage of the game? In this particular map, it looks like no. Aside from maybe, what is this, like maybe 10 tiles, 12 tiles of forest, the south is pretty darn safe, and the north is pretty darn safe as well, unless you cut through here and then you cut through here. We'll see whether or not that's the case. And, of course, the location of rivers and lakes, because why the hell, if you can spend wood on getting food, one of the most efficient ways to do so. Is this accessible, this lake, by the way? Oh, yeah, look at that. So Andy has a little bit of patch of extra gold up here and a lake with some shorefish and space for maybe 2 or even 3 docks, depending on how tight of a squeeze he wants to make it. Do you want to make it first class for your fishing ships, or you want to make it economy class where they're all squeezed in like animals, like sardines in a can? A third donjon going up, another wall off going up behind this one. DauT is now down 4 economic units. He's getting his villager count higher than his opponents, but he has not taken any of the lakes that he's got. In terms of relics, we've got 1, 2 for DauT, 1, 2. Is this open as well? Yeah, 1, 2, and 3 for Andy. So whereas Andy doesn't really have the boars, he does have 1 extra relic. DauT is really trying to bust his way into here. And Andy is really trying to keep him out here. That villager was moonwalking. You think we didn't see you moonwalking there? Oh, we saw you. And we'll see what the point of all of this aggression is from our Sicilian, because for now his military count is a massive 2. He's housed at 35. And these donjons are not going to help right now. He's getting horse collar. Oh, look at that. He's trying to jack this one area, one tree to bust his way in here. But unless you've got 10, maybe 11 villagers, you're not going to be able to do that very well. His sergeant's attacking the house. His scout's attacking. I guess he wants to attack the wall. But the donjon should be able to reach this segment of the wall. Forget that. Another donjon here for our Sicilian. Andy, by the way, is in the Castle Age. He's got 4 villagers on stone. He does not have the gold that he needs in order to buy more stone to build a defensive castle. Although he does have the wood to sell to get the gold to buy the stone for a castle. But look at that, DauT just pivoting right outside the attack area of his own donjon. Not too sure why. Why are you going over here? Why not attack over here? I guess if you were attacking over there, you'd fall under the radius of this castle. Okay, we've got a stable in the forward position for our Sicilian as well. A high ground castle for Andy and a siege workshop. Okay, so he's going to be able to defend this at the same time getting out mangonels to take down the donjons, which, to be fair, don't come with the most HP right now. And will he be able to deny this castle? You got 7 villagers. They're walling themselves in. They do not have loom. DauT's villagers do have loom. And the first kill of the game, it looks like... I think DauT killed the villager first, to be fair, and then Andy killed his scout. And the castle is up, and DauT has to maneuver these villagers. Not exactly the fastest moving units in the game, but he's managed to sneak in a very dangerous force here. Remember, these villagers and these sergeants can build donjons. And now he's going after the wood industry here of our Bohemian. But I feel like a mangonel is going to come out soon. A Hussite wagon is definitely coming out. Now Andy loses his scout. He's up to 7 fishing ships. He's down 9 villagers though. And what villagers he has are, for the most part, busying themselves fighting sergeants. Or at the very least trying to keep the sergeants in place so that the Hussite wagon can fire at them. So blue repairing, orange attacking, sergeants killing villagers here, but the sergeants themselves are going to fall. Mangonel, we'll see what he tries to do. He's okay. So in a world where you can attack the slowest unit, the stationary structure, or the fastest unit on the field, the Mangonel decides to attack the fastest unit on the field. Oh, friendly fire galore. Ouch, that kind of sucked. But DauT is repairing this donjon. He is nowhere close to going up to Castle Age. Is our Sicilian. He has no food in the bank, unless I'm missing something in back home. Look at Andy risking it to complete a wall off, basically to make sure that whatever unit DauT, units plural, DauT has behind enemy lines are the only ones he's going to have behind enemy lines. Same time, Hussite wagon is killing villagers while FreakinAndy basically secures his base. Wow, that did not cause as much trouble as I thought it was. Although DauT did kill 7 villagers, Andy killed 10. DauT's entire forward attack has stalled. Andy is now on the offensive. He's training 1 more mangonel, and with 2 mangonels and Hussite wagon. So remember, if he places the Hussite wagon right here in front of this mangonel, the way it works is the Hussite wagon splits the damage of the pierce attack. So if it does 10, the Hussite wagon will take 5 and the mangonel will take 5. But oh, did he not see the... He did see the stable. And so that one scout being super annoying, and look at that, now he wants to wall it out so that the anything that gets trained out of here cannot attack. But look at that, fancy maneuvers out of DauT, manages to get that one villager right as his donjon falls. Both players just tearing into one another. Resources collected. It looks like our Bohemian is ahead, probably because his fishing industry has been left untouched. Is it the same 7? It is the same 7 here. And now this one scout's going to be running around, causing a bunch of damage. A petard is moving forward. He knows that his opponent is in the Feudal Age, which means the walls have 1080 HP, not 1800, which means they are ripe for being blown up with less effort. And now DauT is emergency walling behind this. He's going to go after the villagers. Of course, he's going to go after the villagers. Hussite wagon fires. Gets those units down to about half HP. Scout still around here, still has his 1 kill. That one villager that we saw next to the walls has to be careful though. A few villager pokes to the butt. Some garrison villagers inside a TC, and he is dead meat. And look at that, Andy's dream came true, and he has walled DauT out of the ability to attack. Another petard moves forward. This scout returns to the front lines, not too sure where he thinks he's going, but a sergeant is slowly working his way forward. Dies, only gets the mangonel to about half HP. Where is DauT going with this one scout? And will he even survive to tell the tale here? He does not. Another set of wall offs. DauT is buying time. He only has half the food that he needs to go up to the castle age. He's got the gold. He's got a good amount of stone. Oh, the worst possible thing that can happen. That's so sour. You're under attack. You're stressed out. You're walling up as much as you possibly can. You're trying to build a dock, I'm assuming for some defensive naval action. And out of nowhere, Mother Nature attacks, kills half of your workforce. Oh, that is so ridiculously sour. And that is very unfortunate for our Sicilian, who now has only one last donjon remaining. It does have 2 sergeants inside. Not too sure what they're going to be able to do. An outpost going up for our Bohemian so you can see what is going on. And it is a demolition raft. Okay. DauT pulls his villagers, and this is where perhaps I was a little bit too comfortable dismissing the location of resources, because DauT's entire gold operation is right here in the forward position, and right now very much under enemy occupation once this castle, if this castle goes up. And with how many villagers? 13 lucky number villagers moving forward. I can't imagine that castle is not going to go up. Forward start down John Falls. He's left with 1. I want to see this demo raft pop out. What will it get? 3 villagers. Okay. I feel like that could have been a little bit worse. And unfortunately for our Sicilian, to be fair, he might want to just mine as much gold as he possibly can right now, because his gold operations... And again, you do start on explored, so you do know that you have some gold up here. So DauT can pivot his economy up there if he wants to, but you're kind of stuck on scouts at the moment, which really, really sucks. Now, Hussite wagons with no... Oh, another demo does absolutely nothing. Hussite wagons have 0 melee armor. So you'd think, you know, melee is pretty damn good against it, especially since villagers come with an attack bonus +6 against Hussite wagons. But you need to get your scouts to light cav, otherwise that 5 base attack is going to do absolute jack nothing. And our Bohemian moves forward. He notices that he's got the momentum, and so why the hell not? Another petard moves forward. He's gonna go after the... Oh, he goes after the town center. Gets a couple of farms. Donjon falls. And now DauT has to fight the Hussite wagons with villagers. Half of them are fighting. Half of them are doing nothing. And to be fair, again, they do come with attack bonuses, which means they should be able to do a good amount of work. And if you're trading out villagers for Hussite wagons, it is not exactly terrible, although 38 villagers for our Sicilian still does outnumber 32 for our Bohemian. Unfortunately, our Bohemian, well, unfortunately for DauT, our Bohemian does still have his fishing industry up and running. And look at that. He's trying to get his own fishing industry as DauT. Okay, light cav attack from 5 to 7, from 6 to 8 with forging. Let's see what he can get accomplished here. Now, this should be pretty darn scary. Hussite wagons generally not the fastest firing units in the game, 3.5 seconds, but more petards are moving forward. More petards are backing them up. And that's it. DauT has no more ability to get gold, except, look at that. He did pivot to the rear of the base. Now, knights here would be an absolute fantastic unit to train some mangonels. Also, he is getting 1. The problem is, we've seen this happen in pro games. We've seen this happen in many games. The numbers are just not there for our Sicilian. Although, whoa, a combination of villagers, mangonel, and a few light cavalry units destroy the Hussite wagon count of our opponent. And all of a sudden, FreakinAndy is down to the last 2 here in the forward position. Although DauT does lose his town center, which means he is now frozen in time when it comes to training villagers. Light cavalry takes a punch to the face from that petard. Ooh, 2 more villagers go down. Remember, he still does have these 2 stables here. Monk goes down as well. Can he train anything out of here? Absolutely not. More and more Hussite wagons rolling forward. And now Andy is walling his opponent very tightly into his own base so that he cannot escape. Petard, where are you going? If only you were a flaming camel and your attack bonuses instead of buildings came against mounted units, you could do a whole lot of damage. But now GL.DauT's free to move around, roam around with his massive 8 army count. And that is not a sarcastic comment, because FreakinAndy only has 7 army count. Although now he's got 8. What are you building here? Some more houses. Houses. You're at 55 pop out of 105. And remember, GL.DauT knows about this gold, but Andy knows about it too. Because again, you do start Black Forest on Explored, and he's going to catch out some more petards here. Okay, look at GL.DauT inserting himself in between Andy's forward position and reinforcements. This is definitely one way to stop this push. He does have a gold mine that he can actually mine without taking any damage for his on his villagers. Husbandry finally kicks in. Look how much faster they move. And now he's back inside the base. Has he seen the dock? He has not seen the dock. He will see it in a second if his scout keeps a looking. And Andy knows that his scouts are looking. And now he's going to wall this fishing industry off. Fantastic, fantastic. And Andy is going back with his army. Okay. Unfortunately for GL.DauT, he's down 10 villagers, down 10 fishing ships. His scouts don't look like they've found any kind of damage to do. The ones killing reinforcements are themselves going to get killed eventually. And once they die, you got one more in here that's just on, I think, move command. He is glitching and derping out here. Yeah, he's definitely on some kind of move command, stuck in the programming of the Matrix here. Now GL.DauT sends his units to the farthest reaches of the corner to make sure Andy doesn't discover where he is. Maybe Andy thinks he's down here, and then he can use that opportunity to run around. Will he even see Andy? Probably not. Ooh, unless he moves out. He does see Andy. Andy sees him. And now he charges straight for them. What a mistake. Again, melee against this unit is fantastic, but you have to have the numbers, or at least the damage output of a knight at the very bare minimum, just because this unit has so much HP. Looks like GL.DauT tried to come back here maybe to get some more gold, but decided to go for stone instead. He's at 505. He's got 2 mangonels. He misses the first. He misses the second volley. Oh, but look at that. Andy's got to be careful. The range of 6 against the 7 of the mangonel means that he has to be very careful maneuvering those Hussite wagons. And he does not have Wagenburg tactics, which means they still move ridiculously slow. And GL.DauT's going to get into the villager line and try to even up the vill counts here. Looks like there's a bit of action in front of his base as well, but I want to see how many villagers he can kill here. So far, 1, 2. Don't be distracted by the Hussite wagons. Keep killing villagers. 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 before he finally dies. 4. I believe that was just 4 villagers, which is, to be fair, not bad for a couple of light cavalry units. And now he's building his castle on the low ground. Look at GL.DauT's resources. For a player that can't mine any of his primary, secondary, tertiary gold and has to rely on this patch where I don't even think his villagers can all... No, look at that. Perfectly. I think he can even fit one more. He is going up to Imperial first. And there is fervor for our Bohemian. Remember, that does affect their villagers as well. And so they're going to be able to move 15% faster. They've already got wheelbarrow. And with only 2 mangonels, isn't it amazing how with only 2 units, you can keep at bay your entire enemy's army? Now, what sucks for our Sicilian is that they do not get redemption, which means even if GL.DauT wanted to spend 475 gold to be able to convert these Hussite wagons with his own monks, he could not. Whereas Andy looks like he already got redemption and is able to convert that stable to make sure, hey, you know what? I want to send reinforcements safely. I don't want to have to deal with your shit. And so now I'm going to be able to. And you are not going to be able to sneak any more units because this stable is defunct. This stable has been converted. The one next to it has been destroyed. And now pikemen are out. So Bohemian, instead of 22 damage to cavalry, they do 28 damage. Except, remember, these are Bohemians. So cut that by a third. So I guess 28 would become what, 18? 18 and a half? Andy, by the way, in firm control of this map. Not that DauT doesn't have the resources here he needs in 37 seconds to start pumping out trebuchets, because yeah, he's got the resources for one treb, but Andy's also going up to Imperial. Ooh, this is such a scary position to be in for our Sicilian. He's gonna hit Imp first. He's gonna get a treb, but you have to calculate the treb coming out. First of all, wait, let's see how much. 4, 3, 2, 1. So Andy's 2 minutes away from Imperial. If he starts training a treb immediately, it takes 50 seconds, which means Andy will be at 1minute 10 seconds when this treb pops out. And his castle's on the high ground, so it takes 25% less damage from that treb. So he is in a fantastic spot, is Andy, even though he's not going to be able to get out of his own treb until much, much after. Although based on the amount of gold that he's got and the villagers on gold that he has, he's not going to be able to get a treb out at any time soon. Meanwhile, DauT is continuing going for the weaker melee. Why not train some knights as well? Although I guess once you see that your Bohemian has a bunch of monks, knights also become a bit of a liability. But maybe if you snipe the monks first. One monk down. Not too sure where he's going now. He's trying to stop the wall off from going up. Oh, he's going after villagers. Is he gonna get a few more over here? Where are Andy's monks? I'm gonna do a big wide sweep here. None of them are in the forward position. He's got 3 of them somewhere. Oh, never mind. There's one. Now it's got 2 trebs. Andy is right now in Imperial. Does not have the gold for his own trebs, so he might actually be in a spot of trouble here. Our Bohemian, although speaking of trouble, this is a one-way trip. This is a dead-end street here for these scout units, even if they're light cavalry. Okay, but the mangonels, that might want to move a little bit to the left. There we go. Try to pull these Hussite wagons into the mangonel fire. And he will definitely lose this castle, but now he's getting bombard cannons of his own. Oh man, so many gunpowder balls. Primary projectile, secondary projectile. Okay, pikeman on move command. And here we go. He's opened up a little hole for himself. If he can maneuver around this barracks, he might be able to save some of those scouts. Or who forgets saving the scouts, he goes through the wall off. Andy's wall off not exactly complete, which means he loses a monk for it. Bombard cannon is now out going after a lumber camp. Oh, he's gonna lose that as well. DauT is getting so much value out of these units, but no, in comes a repairing villager, in come those pikemen, but more light cavalry are streaming forward. DauT is just way too far behind economically. He needs to get some damage done or he's going to get absolutely steamrolled. Primary group of light cav have died. Secondary group have returned home. The wall off is still going up for Andy, who's very industrious when it comes to building these wall offs. 4 trebs from our, well, make that 3 trebs from our Sicilian. But what is he firing on? He's firing on the bombard cannon. He gets it. Wow, you'd think it was a Hunnic treb the way it got that bombard cannon, but ultimately DauT realizes that, hey, I'm a little bit too far behind. You can keep pumping out as many bombard cannons as you want. I am out of gold. I cannot mine this gold, or this gold. And so look at that. Ends the game with pretty much 0 villagers on gold, 0 villagers on stone. And unfortunately for him, 5 stables is not enough. If he had maybe 10 stables and he could continually pump out more and more light cav and try to take down more and more bombard cannons and monks, maybe his trebs can slowly clear out this infrastructure. Unfortunately, once these walls go up rather, the bombard cannon will have free reign. The maneuverability just makes it so deadly against trebuchets. And again, that was that bombard cannon kill here was very lucky. That is not something you can really rely on as a treb user, unless you're the Britons, unless you're the Huns. But as the Sicilians, I don't think you can really rely on that kind of luck over and over again. And now you're facing the Bohemians with bombard cannons, Hussite wagons, extra damage, pikemen. Even then, again, that extra damage a little bit blunted by the Sicilians taking 33% less bonus damage. Unfortunately, what you've given up control of is the entire map. And so you're kind of stuck in this little nook. And not only are you stuck in this little nook, unfortunately, you're stuck in a little nook without your secondary stone, all 3 of your beginning golds, and you're stuck with trash resources against the Bohemians. And, ooh, That is not a recipe. I didn't mean to go all Jeff Goldblum. Go ooh yeah. That's not a recipe for a victory. Being stuck on trash resources against one of the most powerful gunpowder civilizations in the freaking game. And let's see what was going on. Petards was the number 2 most trained unit, but Hussite wagons. And again, DauT. I mean, I understand the light cavalry play. I do. What can you really do here? Maybe mangonels. More mangonels would have been the answer to the Hussite wagon threat. But with light cav, you inevitably invite the pikeman transition. Although, to be fair, DauT, with his light cavalry maneuvers, managed to get a good amount of monks, managed to get bombard cannons, managed to snipe villagers. Ultimately, though, when you leave your opponent completely unharassed, and he's gone up to 1-2 town centers at home, you barely managed to get a town center up yourself, barely managed to get a castle up yourself. I think DauT realizes he's just way too far behind. And again, he's on trash resources against the Bohemians, which is never a good idea. He does get more food than his opponent, but everything else goes to our Bohemian, who takes the economic power. Look at that, 10,000 more resources. What is that, like 35% bigger economy? And it wasn't the longest game, 47 minutes in. But wow, yeah, there you go. This is what happens when you are clustered, forced into a corner, and your opponent just has total control of the map. 1 conversion, 16 raisings to 6. Let's take a look at the total kill count. I feel like the civilian kills are very identical here, and our Bohemian just got a little bit more in terms of kills, 81 to 68. But to be fair, I don't think this is one of those games where raisings and conversions, and to be fair, even kill count is more important. I think what's really important is just positioning. And look at the map. This belongs to FreakinAndy. This belongs to DauT. And this comes with gold and stone and relics, which, by the way, now will also belong on this side of the map to our Bohemian. Our Sicilian only managed to get 1 relic, so 4 of them are now going to be in the hands of his enemy. And when you carve up the map like this, you have absolutely no chance in hell. You can put up a defense, for sure, but now the bombard cannons are coming out, Hafnitzas are sure to follow, and Hussite wagons are going to be here. Plus, you never, ever underestimate Hussite reforms. For 450 gold, every single monk tech, every single monk becomes food only, and then you're basically gifting your army to your opponent. And I think DauT realizes that even though at the moment, if you snap frame this image, doesn't really look like he's doing too badly. He's got a castle, he's got trebs, you know, he's got a good amount of villagers, but I think he sniffs it out that he's in a much worse position than this lets on. And does he actually see? Yeah, he sees every reinforcement that's streaming in because of all these walls that he put up. Fortified, they are not, but regular walls still. Oh, look at that. Bohemian did get fortified walls. I wonder why he got fortified walls. He was on the offensive for a long, long time. In any event, I'm trying to think. The Sicilians don't actually get fortified walls, do they? No, I don't think they do. So in any event, even though, again, like I said, DauT looks like maybe he's got a bit of a mobile army here. He can pull some pikemen into castle fire. He can snipe a villager. He can go after another bombard cannon, maybe even another monk. The writing's on the wall. He's stuck on trash against the Bohemians. And because of that, he lives to fight another day, taps out, and it is FreakinAndy with the weekend 1v1 Black Forest old school that takes the W, but GG in a very pendulum swinging back and forth game to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.